Wildcats, here we go, you guys. Okay, hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be doing something different, something special, because by the time this video comes out, this will be the 20th anniversary of High School Musical. Oh my god. By the way, if you want to miss any more like Disney contents like this, please make sure to subscribe and like to my channel. And I had so much fun, I guess, doing a little bit of like research, and like, so I'm excited to share with you all some of the facts you probably know or didn't know. Most of my research, I try to find something that's like not well known to everybody, kind of like, oh okay, like that's like great thing to know about the movie. So I honestly love learning about these behind the scene facts of like your favorite movie or show. And of course, High School Musical is such like a big cultural moment in our childhood or in the media in general, especially with Disney history. So why not just give you guys 20 fun facts about the movie, because it's the 20th anniversary. I feel so old. Don't you guys feel so old? Let me know comments below, what is your favorite High School Musical song? And before I reveal the fact, which number from High School do you think made one of the presidents, the former president of Walt Disney Studio, cried? I'll let you play that game down before I reveal it towards the end of the video. Further ado, you know what? Let's just get right into it. We have 20 facts to reveal in this movie. So most of the facts came from this wonderful book. This is the Disney High book. And this one has so much tea. This one focused more on like the 2000, aka the golden age of Disney Channel. So if you want, please make sure you check it out. This book, this is where most of the stuff about High School Musical section that I found from this book. I mean, some of them are online, but yeah, it has a little bit more details with the pre-production, the production, also focus on the sequel too. But the sequels are a different video for another day. This time it's just the High School Musical, the original one. So the first fact is Lucas Grabeel, who played Ryan in the trilogy movie. When he read the script of High School Musical, he found it, quote from the book, "Dude, this is the worst script I've ever read, and I feel like it's gonna be the worst thing I've ever done if I book this." Because context and stuff, he wasn't really, when his manager told about this project, he thought that this would be the end of his career, because he was 20 years old around that time, maybe 2005, and he was not like a huge Disney fan, not like a Disney stan like me or everybody else. And at that time, the only Disney project he has a credit to was the Halloween Town third movie. Do you remember that movie? I remember that. I never seen it, but I remember seeing like promos about it when you get the DVD. Oh, I missed those times. And then at that time, he was working at Blockbuster. Clearly very depressed because he wasn't really happy with his job. So when he auditioned. So fact number 2 is Lucas actually did audition for Troy Bolton for his dog because he wants to be a star. And the casting director honestly thought he would be better as Ryan, who is the sidekick of the twin brother of Sharpay. So that's fact number 2. And then fact number 3 is during pre-production, I think they talk about this in Sharpay's cover video that's still up in YouTube. They admitted that, I was shocked when I heard this news, Ashley and Lucas actually hated each other during the production of High School Musical, because Lucas honestly thought that Ashley was being like way too serious, like so dramatic, like a diva kind of. Because when you look back on it, she was basically like method acting as Sharpay, like being Sharpay, which is very normal for actors in projects. Like example, like Ariana, during the production, she was like literally living like the Glinda life to help herself get into the role. So I feel like Ashley was kind of doing so. Clearly it went too much with the two of them, so it really affected so they hated each other during the third action. Okay, so number 4 is, okay, this is kind of like 2 facts but all into one. So originally High School Musical was inspired by 2 iconic movies or 2 iconic stories. One is Romeo and Juliet. It has a little bit of Romeo and Juliet elements, especially with the forbidden love with Troy Bolton and Gabriella, with the 2 different teams. And then Grease, I think Grease is more like the aesthetic inspiration in High School Musical, because Grease takes place in a high school and it's an iconic musical. So those are the 2 like aesthetic and style of the movie when they were when this was in development back in the day. And then the reason why, if you guys, why did they add basketball in this movie? Because because they wanted it to be drawn to male audience. So that's an explanation why there's basketball. And then of course, before they decided to make this into an original musical, originally was supposed to be a 70s and 80s hits, like a jukebox musical, but instead Disney thought, you know what, it'll be cheaper and easy if we just do our own music, make its own, which is a great choice, and it worked out well for them with High School Musical. So boy, I hope you enjoy those 3 facts into one. So fact number 5 is originally Miss Darvis was being tested by Judy Garland's daughter, not Liza, not what's her name, Liz, the iconic Liz, not her famous daughter. It's actually Lauren Liff, but of course it went automatically to Addison Rae, the iconic she is that played that role. It really suits her, that role. So that's a fun fact I learned from this book. No reason why she didn't get the role, she was just being tested and that didn't work out. So number 6, originally Cordon Bleu he auditioned for Ryan. Actually, that's a interesting choice. He auditioned for Ryan, but then they learned that he's actually better as Chad, which we all agree. And then actually, I think he said this in multiple interviews and podcasts. Corden, the actor himself, doesn't have. He's like the polar opposite of like Chad. He doesn't have athletic skill. He has more on like acting and dancing skill. So like it's like the polar opposite of the character he's playing, which I get why he wants to be Ryan. And also I remember his dad said that in the book, how just treat the basketball like a prop object, like make it like a choreography. So there you go. So can you imagine him as Ryan? Everybody's playing different roles. Okay, so number 7, this is well known, I want to add this to the fact. Jesse McCartney was almost Troy Bolton. Can you imagine Jesse McCartney, the soul? Because he was like an it boy back in the day. He was like basically Chad Michael Murray in the Disney family. So why did he not get cast as Troy? Why? So he didn't turn down his record label, Hollywood Records, actually turned down the role for him because they don't want him, he doesn't want to be like a Disney star. He was more focused on his pop star image, more like adult pop star, not like he doesn't be a Disney kid. So that's why he didn't get the role. He wasn't the only one. I think he was also offered a role in Camp Rock as well too, but he declined it. So he missed some big opportunities. Can you imagine Jesse McCartney as Troy Bolton? That would be very interesting. So number 8, if you love Vanessa and Zach relationship, well, you're not the only one, because Vanessa, during their chemistry read, she did admit like how she has a little crush on Zach, especially like she even revealed like how cute he is before they do their little iconic like test screening. So she did have a little crush on him. There's more to that. So number 9 is that executives were honestly on the fence. Okay, we're gonna go back to his singing voice. So the executives were on the fence on Zac Efron being Troy Bolton because like he has the star making, but they're just concerned about like his singing. But it was actually Kenny Ortega that was like, no, he is Troy Bolton, and like because he's a star, he can follow direction and he can act, and they can like fix his gap tooth at first. Like he's a star. And back to the singing. So like when they were recording for High School Musical, number 10, executives decided they wanted to like ghost voice Zac Efron's voices because after they hear the demo of Get Your Head in the Game, which is honestly leaked on internet, you can feel free to Google that yourself, and decided that Drew Steely wants to do the singing voice. They decided to let him do the singing voice instead, which is because he was part of the production. And then also another fun fact, but speaking of that, number 11, Drew Seeley, or anyway, he wasn't even credited. Like, he wasn't credited. Of course, like, Zac Efron did reveal it in interviews when the movie came out, like how he did the singing voice. So he did the singing, and apparently he also did the singing voice of like Stuck in the Suburb, which had like the same situation with the Troy Bolton with the pop star thingy. And it's interesting how like that all changed once they heard his demo, his version of Breaking Free, which like this sounds more like a Troy Bolton song. So that's why in number 12, speaking of the singing voice drama, number 12, Zac Efron was indeed like upset when he found out that they didn't use his entire voice in High School Musical. They only used like the first and the last, like his first singing voice and the last singing voice. Everything else was like all Drew Sima. And again, he wasn't giving any explanation as to why the production team or executives didn't use his voice. So I understand his frustration with that. And that's why when you look at the track list, I think in the first movie, I'm not sure the second movie and the sequels, but I remember in the first movie, we look at the track list, it all says the corrector's name rather than like the actors listed, rather than like the actors that are credited as the vocal part of the music, which is very interesting. They haven't done it in a while, but yeah. So Breaking Free was the one that got Drew the part of the singing voice because it just hit. Has a great pitch, especially like the chorus. especially the high note. Yeah. So of course Zach eventually did sing all his singing part in the sequels. So we did have to Drew's voice in the first movie. So that's interesting for you guys to know. Okay, so number 13, let's talk about the age. When you're watching this movie like me, you're like, wow, dude, some of them look like teens. Some of them really look like young adults, like adults, literally. And here's the age breakdown. So this is during the production of High School Musical. There's apparently 3 groups according to the book. The first group is the 20s. Her group is Monique. She's the oldest. In the original 6, she's 24 years old by the time that movie was in production. Lucas was of course 20, so we talk about in the first movie. And then the last group, which is the youngest one, who are literally the same age as the character that they're being played. Zac Efron was actually 17 years old when this movie was being filmed. And then Cordon Bleu and Vanessa were actually 16 years old. I know Vanessa, she looks very young, but Cordon's 16, that's crazy. And then meanwhile, Ashley Tisdale was actually 19, but when the movie came out, she was 20. No, during prep, she was 20 years old. So she was kind of like in the middle between the young kids and like the older kids. So she was kind of in the middle. So number 14 is, speaking of love, so not only Vanessa did have a crush on Zach. Zach did in fact had feelings for Vanessa during the production of High School Musical, and he was very worried about because he had a girlfriend back home when they were doing production. Apparently they broke up by the time the production was moving. So that's when Zanessa, their screen name, was born during High School Musical. So you can take High School Musical for that, for their chemistry, and their chemistry came back in real life, and that's a different story for another day of what happens after the first movie. So that's how love rekindles. So art repeats life, as they say. Okay, so number 15 is that, speaking of gay, Kenny Ortega actually knew during the production that Ryan is actually a gay character, but it's 2005 by the time the movie came out. So being gay at that time was a little bit controversial. It wasn't as big as now. But Disney won't allow them to explore sexuality. But they of course changed that when the High School Musical, the musical series, was released, acknowledging how Ryan is gay and yeah. So because again, it was 2005. They didn't really acknowledge it. He was just there, you know. You can obviously give some hints with his outfit choices and his infamous crush on Ryan, whatever that was, but that's a little bit heated rivalry right there. So Kenny knew that Ryan was gay during the Make Him Dead movie. Okay, so number 16, this is kind of sad. I think Monique revealed this a few years ago. I'll see it again. So there was no black hairstylist for Monique because the hairstyle they currently have didn't know how to do black hair, of course. They don't know how to style her hair. So unfortunately, Monique had to be the one to style her own hair, which is very unfortunate. And of course, that has changed now how it was back in the day. So yeah. Okay, number 7. Remember how I said in the beginning, one of the executives from Disney cried? So Rich Ross, who is the former president of the Walt Disney Studios, who made the live action, but anyway. So he visited the set of High School Musical. He tends to visit the DCOM set every once in a while. I think this is towards the end. So they were on set during the opening scene of High School Musical. So once he saw it's something new, the musical number, that's when he started crying because he knew that this was special. This was a special number, and he started tearing up. So that's the song that he did teared up with, and that's when he knew that there's something special about this movie, and that's why the marketing of this movie had a higher budget, because they knew how special this movie is, and it was history to make it. So in case you're wondering what's the budget of this movie, how many days it took this movie, so let me answer that for you. They shoot High School Musical between 20 to 25 days. Wow, that was very quick. It's 3 weeks, 20 and 25 days, with a budget of $42 million, which is Disney Channel original movie budget around that time. So that's very interesting. Of course, I'm pretty sure the budget came up as the sequel came up. So that's, spend very wisely. Okay, so number 19, the Disney Channel audience were introduced to High School Musical with the New Year's Eve special. Remember what Disney used to do? They used to do New Year's Eve special, and that's when they premiered a first look or first listen of Breaking Free, and Breaking Free broke a number of records ever since that, before the movie came out on this exact same day, January 10th. So I think it became the Billboard's top 100 on January 10 or something like that. I remember Breaking Free broke so much record. So that was the number. So lastly, fact number 20. actors that were High School Musical, they originally signed a contract that they had like a standard Disney Channel contract. In that contract, there was no option, there was no mention about like a franchise or sequels. So by the time when they made this movie, they thought it was just like a one-off. They didn't expect this to be like a franchise, similar to like the Cheetah. They didn't expect this to be like a potential franchise. So it's kind of similar to Frozen, where it was just a happy accident. So they were just thinking it's like a one-off movie until it was hugely successful. It made history with the Disney Channel. And the way they started making more Disney movie musical after High School Musical. So yeah, and here's a little bit of a fun fact. So this is fact number 21, which is, did you know Zac Efron was actually offered a record deal? He was actually offered a record deal. The 3 stars that said yes to it was like Vanessa. I mean, this was from the book. I forgot where, but I know this was in the book. It was Vanessa Hudgens and Ashley Tisdale. I think Courtney B had a little bit of record, so both of them said yes. But Zac Efron said no to it because he wanted to focus on his acting career. He just thought that acting is more suitable for him, not so much with the singing world. But he did, of course, did some musical. He's an actor. But can you imagine Zac Efron having a musical career if he were to go through that little route? So yeah, that's a little fun fact for you guys. So those are the 20 or I guess 21 fun facts about High School Musical. So let me know comments below. Have you heard of any of these fun facts? Maybe you have. That'd be great. That would be great if you didn't. And there's some things I forgot about it. So yeah, let me know comments below. What do you think of High School Musical in general? And do you like this fun fact? And so maybe I might do it once Hannah Montana 20th anniversary comes up. So let me know comments below. What do you think? And I'll see you all on the next video, Wildcats. Okay, put your head in the game. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, bye. Poof. There you go. I'm putting Universal an idea. Make a Wicked carousel ride and play this song when they do carousel. That would be. Oh, wait, that's it? Okay.